How to increase CAG-170 in the gut. All right, so there was a study that was released January 13th, 2026, and it's called Meta-Analysis of the Uncultured Gut Microbiome Across 11,115 Global Metagenomes Reveals a Candidate Signature of Health. This study is incredible. Essentially, it showed, and I'll show you the graph here, that this bacteria, I'm not sure if they're calling it CAG-170 or CAG-170, so I guess I'm just going to go between the two. Okay, you can see here that CAG-170 is on top for a health score, way on top. Figure 3C here, you can see the gut genome for Crohn's disease, myalgic encephalomyelitis, obesity, ulcerative colitis. You can see that it's either not showing up, not significantly even able to be read, or it's in super low abundance comparatively to healthy subjects. So that's what we're seeing here. And you can look at how to increase those bacteria, and a lot of them are from similar ways: pumpkin seeds and healthy protein fiber sources, things like that. A lot of plant-based ways. Based on recent 2026 research from the University of Cambridge, CAG-170 is a newly identified hidden group of bacteria found in high numbers in the gut of healthy individuals. It is associated with high levels of fiber metabolism and vitamin B12 production, functioning as a key marker of a healthy, stable microbiome. Because these bacteria are difficult to grow in laboratory conditions, specific CAG-170 probiotics do not yet exist. But researchers suggest that increasing dietary fiber and specific nutrients is the best way to promote their growth, right? So then I was thinking, well, how would I increase the growth of CAG-170 in the gut based on the scientific findings? Number one, increase fiber intake. CAG-170 bacteria possess enzymes designed to break down a wide range of carbohydrates, sugars, and fibers. A diet rich in fiber feeds these beneficial bacteria. So prioritize fiber-rich foods, increase consumption of whole grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Specific prebiotics, foods high in inulin and pectin, such as onions, garlic, bananas, asparagus, even more so on the green banana side, are particularly beneficial for promoting these types of beneficial bacteria. Based on these data points, the following fibers would be highly beneficial and easy to administer: banana powder, chicory root inulin powder, artichoke inulin powder, pineapple powder. Those would be pretty simple. 2, boost arginine intake. Genomic data indicates that CAG-170 bacteria are unable to produce the amino acid arginine themselves. Providing more arginine in the diet may help support their growth and survival in the gut. Arginine-rich foods would be turkey, chicken, pumpkin seeds, soybeans, spirulina, dairy products, nuts. This should mean it would be possible to supplement with the amino acid L-Arginine, though the data below shows that supplementation of L-Arginine didn't have a direct effect compared to placebo. What I would hypothesize is that food intake would be preferred for foods high in L-Arginine. Additionally, taking fiber sources along with L-Arginine-rich foods would most likely be optimal. As far as that timeline, I did actually test this, and I had really good results, and I'll tell you in a minute. And so again, I was doing a different protocol. I didn't have all the tools that I did when I was starting working on all this. But I had decreased pre-dementia symptoms. I had decreased hallucination. Well, they're gone. I made all the hallucination symptoms go away. All the pre-dementia symptoms are gone. What would a pre-dementia symptom be for me? It would be I was getting lost in grocery stores and crying and having to FaceTime people to help me get out of the grocery store because I was getting lost. Yeah, me. That was happening to me. Wild. CPTSD symptoms as well would be like nightmare hallucinations of traumatic past events, right? those symptoms are all gone. But it took me 1.5 years for that to completely be gone. And so what was interesting about this is I can't know for myself what would happen if I started this particular protocol now. I can't know. But it's fascinating. And so 3, consume polyphenol-rich foods. Polyphenols are plant compounds that act as fuel for beneficial bacteria and help modulate the gut environment. Foods to include would be berries, dark chocolate, green tea, nuts, seeds, because CAG-170 is associated with a stable, non-inflamed and healthy gut. Actions that reduce inflammation and support overall microbial diversity would then thereby help. So adopt a Mediterranean diet would be helpful based on what data shows. So this, which would be including like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats, that's linked to higher levels of beneficial microbes. Reduce processed foods, limit refined carbohydrates and high sugar foods, which can reduce the presence of healthy fiber-loving bacteria. Manage stress. Chronic stress can lead to dysbiosis or an unbalanced gut and suppress healthy microbiome growth. So this, mind you, this is new. This is like very new research, but I just wanted to explain about it because it's really fascinating. Therefore, we'll be looking at increasing arginine intake through foods and supplementation of the direct amino acid. Recent studies indicate that oral arginine supplementation significantly reduces toxin amyloid beta, alpha beta buildup, and neuroinflammation, improving cognitive and behavioral outcomes in Alzheimer's disease models as a safe, inexpensive amino acid. It shows promise for treating dementia by suppressing plaque formation, though these results are currently based on preclinical animal models. Arginine and Alzheimer's research findings. Reduced amyloid plaque studies using mice and fruit flies showed that oral arginine directly inhibits alpha beta aggregation in the brain. Reduced neuroinflammation. Arginine helps lower pro-inflammatory markers, which are linked to cognitive decline and Alzheimer's progression. And the mechanism is that arginine is a precursor to nitric oxide, which improves cerebral blood flow and plays a role in mitochondrial function and synaptic plasticity. So human potential here is that early research suggested that low-dose oral arginine may improve cognitive scores, memory and function in patients with dementia, with potential benefits linked to reducing oxidative stress. Preclinical status here, while it's promising, current findings from 2025 emphasize the need for rigorous clinical trials to determine human dosage, safety, and efficacy. And other considerations here, altered metabolism. Patients with Alzheimer's disease may exhibit altered arginine metabolism, which can contribute to the disease. And then there's metabolite markers. Research suggests that high levels of certain amino metabolites, such as ADMA and SDMA, are present in the blood of patients with dementia. So there's a safety profile here. Arginine is a naturally occurring amino acid commonly used, making it a favorable candidate for drug repurposing and neurodegenerative disorders. Make sure for dosing, that you're probably starting at maybe 1 gram, and I was for myself maxing at about 6 grams. Probably for most people, 1 to 4 grams is good. So in some people, it can cause some gastrointestinal distress, especially if a person has a sensitive tummy. Food sources that are high in arginine would be pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, peanuts. You can also use the internet. Legumes, soybeans, chickpeas, so hummus, lentils, cod, salmon, halibut, tuna, lobster, shrimp. And then ricotta cheese, eggs, seaweed, spirulina, dark chocolate. So these types of things would have more arginine in it. And then I was looking at pumpkin seeds on schizophrenia specifically, and research suggests that pumpkin seeds, rich in antioxidants, zinc, and essential fatty acids, may offer neuroprotective benefits and support the management of inflammation-related mental health conditions, including aspects of schizophrenia. Studies indicate they improve cognitive function, reduce anxiety, and combat oxidative stress. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effect here is that pumpkin seeds, along with other nuts are recommended for their high antioxidant content, which help manage the oxidative stress often found in individuals with first episode psychosis. Neuroprotective properties here. In animal models, dietary supplementation with both raw and roasted pumpkin seeds showed significant improvements in anxiety, cognition, and spatial memory. Stress management, pumpkin seed oil, and zinc have been found to attenuate chronic mild stress, restoring antioxidant levels like SOD in the brain, which may help with psychiatric symptom management. Nutrition profile here is pumpkin seeds are high in magnesium, zinc, and fatty acids, which can modulate pathways involved in neuroinflammation and cognitive decline. So I was just looking at different foods and what how they can help. Dark chocolate's another good one. Also helps for dementia. And then research indicates an altered arginine metabolism in individuals with schizophrenia, suggesting its role in the disorder's pathogenesis. However, studies on using L-Arginine as an add-on treatment have showed inconsistent results, with a small clinical trial finding no significant improvement in symptoms. So altered metabolism here, studies have found differences in how the brain and body of individuals with schizophrenia process L-Arginine, which is a precursor for important neuromodulators like nitric oxide and agmatine. So I tested I was taking 6 grams of arginine. I would not start with that. I can start with 1 if you're doing it. But I did 6 grams of arginine, and then I did equaling about 18 grams of fiber from psyllium husk flakes, specifically, because the powder, I didn't like how it became like a gel. So what was wild about it was that after day 5, number 1, it was fart city, okay? But after my gastrointestinal wildness started to chill out, I started to become very relaxed. About day 5 to 7, I became very relaxed. And Vince also did this, and he experienced similar results about the same timeline. But you make sure if you're going to do that, you have to drink a ton of water, because you can totally get constipated from psyllium husk powder or flakes if you're not drinking enough water. So you have to drink a ton of water, especially with the powder. So by day 14, though, I was wildly relaxed. I was very chill. My glucose was pretty good, but normally it's like around like 100, but it was getting even better. I can say that. So it's really great. And then I stopped after 3 weeks because I was kind of tired of having a ton of fiber in a glass. It doesn't taste, it's not pleasant. And I was taking the arginine as a powder, which tastes absolutely horrible. It's like bitter old fish. This is kind of what it tastes like. But I would, in the future, take it as a pill. That's how I would recommend taking it. But I actually had really, really good results. And so I do want to continue that just at a lower dose level. But I was quite happy with the results that I got. So I think it's really interesting, and I think it's a protocol that people could try. Just you want to make sure that you're going really slow. And I could put it on the Patreon. You'll see on the Patreon the protocol. It's very simple. And if you wanted to add other ones, if you wanted to add banana powder or pineapple powder, great. I was simply looking at psyllium husk because it had high yield results for bacterial colony increase, and it was cheap and simple. So I was trying to look for something cheap and simple. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right.